Hello and welcome to this video. My name is George. I do fly the 787. However, again we're going to be flying 777 on this flight from Quito to Aguadilla in San Juan. This is a high elevation airport, so it's pretty challenging. So let's see how to take care of the cockpit preparation. So if we come inside this beautiful cockpit, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the emergency equipment, which is the fire extinguisher, the axe. We check the life vest, check globes, we check the lights, and of course we check the PVE. And after that we just pretty much go to our seats and start flying. So we're already in our seat and we're going to start with the first flow, which is start the ADIRU, and then go to the stats, and then we check the hydraulic quantity, that it's okay with the limits, pressure and oxygen press, which is okay for that value. Then we go to engines, we check the oil quantity, and after that we check the maintenance logbook, where you can see all the reports or MAL or anything the aircraft has. After that we check the maintenance manual, the maintenance laptop, which is somewhere here, and then we set the parking brake. We set the wheel light on, so colleague can go to do the walk around. That's the first part, and we wait for the alignment to happen. It takes patience, as you can see, only 6 minutes, and after that we started with the preparation. So the time to align is completed. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get the ATIS. It's very important, is that way you will know which one is going to be in use, what's the wind, what's the temperature, and what's the QNH, so you can set everything up. So as you can see here, the ATIS is at this time from 15 Zulu of the date. It's 2303 knots, visibility more than 10 kilometers, few clouds at 4,000 feet, broken at 10,000. Temperature 19er, 2.10, altimeter 1027. So we are using runway 36, so we are going to have a little bit of tailwind, but not very significant, so we'll be good to go. So after that, it's set. We are going to start for the units, ident. Then we are going to check the model, we're going to check the engine, we're going to check the database, which is up to date, and then after we're going to go to post init. So we have to set the inertial position, of course. The most accurate is the GPS position, so we're going to set it. As you can see, it is set. Then we go to next page. This is very important. We have to check for required navigation performance with the actual. At this point, this is very important. It should be in 1, but this is not a complete subject. So if you want to take a deeper look on that, let me know in the comment section below and we can check it out. Then after we go to page 3, we may verify that the GPS is on. So that's pretty much that part. Then we come back to the first page and we can start doing the route. So let me get rid of the joke here for a moment. So with the route, we're going to start. Our flight plan is going to be from Quito, Sierra, Echo, Quebec, Mike, all the way to Aguadilla, which is Tango, Juliet, Bravo, Quebec. Our flight is going to be Emirates 777. There you go. And now we pass to the route. We go to the next page and we start copying the route. So the route is pretty simple. It consists just to get the flight plan, as you can see here. In this flight plan, we're going to check the route. In this route, we're going to be watching this, something like this. So the first point, waypoint, is going to be Arnop. Then we go and set the airway, upper 533. Then you don't have to set the 2 here, you just can go straight away to the next airway. So in this case, it is upper 778. You see, it automatically chooses the waypoint between these two airways. So after that, we're going to be using uniform whiskey 26. Then it's going to be uniform whiskey 3. And then after, it's going to be uniform whiskey 5. And then uniform Mike 525. All the way to Mela. And that's going to be your final waypoint. See, now you can activate the route and execute it. So then after that, we're going to go to the departures on our riders. Are going to be departing runway 36, or seat is going to be our knock 3, and we execute. And then after, we go back to the departures on our riders. We go to approach. We're going to be approaching runway 08. This is something of the 787. We get the runway instead of the approach, because if you get the approach when you press this toggle button for the takeoff, it may arm the approach. So as we don't want that to happen, we just set the runway 08 and execute. After that, you go to X, go to plan, and you can see what you just did and verify that all the parameters are correct, that all the route is correct. As you can see here, LDR negative all the way to Aguadilla. Here's correct, but as you can see, there's a discontinuity here. So you take the runway 08 and set it after Mela, and there you go. The route is complete. So then you have to compare just to make sure that the route is correct. You go to progress, and you will see that there's a distance of 1,273 miles. As you can see in the flight plan, it's 1,276. So that means it is correct, because we are within the distance, right? So that's the first part. Then we're going to go back to route, but we are going to set the route 2. So we go to route 2, and we're going to set an engine failure. And this is very important, and there's a reason for this, because since we are in a high elevation field, we must have a plan in case of an engine failure, because the performance of the plane is going to be really affected because of this. So that's why we're going to set a flight plan in the secondary flight plan, in the route 2 I mean, and make sure that we have an escape plan if that happens. So after we set the route 2, we're going to set gear position palette, which I'm going to be showing you. This is pretty much the same chart as an engine failure. So we're going to be using this one, and I will show you why in a minute. So we go back to departures and arrivals. We say go to departures, and we're going to be taking off from our 36. And the name of the departure is Palette 3. So we set Palette 3 here. Then we go to X. As you can see, the drawing here is different. It turns to the left. It goes beyond our maintenance area. So if you go to steps, you will see that it goes to Palette. But there's a hole in here in Palette that we have to set ourselves. So the hole in there goes like this. So you go to the whole page, you set Palette here, and here you can see the parameters for Palette. So as you can see, this is the hole for Palette. So the hole in there is going to be inbound close of 125, turning to the right, of course. Because we are above 14,000 feet, we're going to set 1.5 minutes. So there, and we go back to the X, there. important to stay there at what 6,000 feet or above. So that's the rule too. We don't set the approach yet because we don't know if we had an engine failure, which runway will be more convenient. So we leave that part for later in case we need to use it. Hopefully we will not. And after we go to the alternate page, of course, our first choice is Quito. So we are going to set Quito. Our second choice is going to be Guayaquil, which is Sierra Echo Golf Uniform. There. You can even set the parameters to go there. If you go there, you will be going around 7,000 feet. We are going to have, roughly with the winds aloft, we are going to have a wind from 360 4 knots. And they will give you like better planning to go there. So after you have this page clear here, you're good to go to the next page. The enough page, we're not going to do anything yet. We just make sure that the position altitude is correct according to the database. Of course, it is the transition altitude is 18,000 feet, so it is correct. And after we go to fixed page, and this page we are going to set clues that we need to follow in case of an engine failure or anything you want. You just want like a visual clue of what you're going to do in case we need to proceed in another way. So in this case, we are going to be using Norte VOR, which is Quebec November Victor, and we are going to set radials 180 and 317. So you can see here it shows some radials that we are using in order to avoid high mountain terrain. So that's the importance of this fixed page. You can use it as you want. In the legs page, we verified in the route 1 that we don't have that we have the correct constraints. The only constraint that we have for this departure is to cross Norte VOR at 10,000 feet or above. So after that, you can just pretty much check the flight plan that we already did, and you have the opportunity to set your initial altitude in the MCP. But since we don't have one, we're going to leave that like this, because maybe it will be given by the clearance, by the ATC and the building clearance. So after that, we go to navigation, the radio navigation. We set the VOR that we want. As you can see, Norte VOR is already set there, but it may change by itself, so we want to fix that VOR, so we are going to set it manually so it won't change. You could even set the radials there, but in my opinion that is way too much information in the screen. It can be overwhelming. But just to show you here, let's say that you want to put the radial 255, I mean the course 255, and as you can see, it draws the radial there. But we don't need it, so we are not going to set anything there. So that is the navigation part. After that, we go back to ref. If we press it, you will see that will take us to perf init, because that is the next part that we're going to do. But first, we're going to go to our VFD, which unfortunately we don't have in this aircraft. But here, I will show you the charts that we'll be using. So, in this picture here, as you can see, we're going to be using the chart for the airport. It is the 10-9, and then we can see the parking position. We are parking the cargo ramp in the position 81. So that way you know where you're going. The seat that we're going to be using is our knob 3. As you can see, this is the chart that we're going to be using for this flight. And also, we are going to be using an engine failure, which in this case is pretty similar to this. I don't have the engine failure chart, but it's pretty much the same chart that you see here. That's the one that we're going to be using. And also you're going to need some approach charts in case we have to turn back. So we're going to be using the ILS localizer Zulu for runway 36, and we have it ready here. So that's pretty much what you do. After that, you set your destination charts and your alternate charts, and you're good to go. Then, by the way, this is called Addons. Do you see that I come from this side back to this side? They call it Addons. This is a very curious thing. So there you go. Okay, so we go back to the berth. We're going to be saying our zero fuel weight, which is 233.5 tons. 3.5. Or our reserve is going to be the alternate plus the final reserve. So if you add that, you have 5.7. Our cruising altitude is going to be flight level 330. Our chaos index is going to be 90. However, as you can see in the flight plan, we are going to be flying at a fixed Mach of 0.84. We're going to take care of that later, and you will see. Step size, it says RBSM is the same at 2000, but just for the sake of this exercise, we're going to set it at 2000, just so we have a better clue of what we're going to do. Then after that, we go to thrust limit. As you can see, it's already takeoff. We have these options of climb that we're going to watch in another video if you want. And then we go to takeoff. And then, before we do anything here, we should go to the OPT. So that is an onboard performance tool that we have in the AFB, where we set the weather data that we previously got. But since we don't have that option available here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the wind in the next page, which is 230 degrees width for the 3 knots. We can even set the temperature, but I will leave that to the aircraft. So, as I mentioned before, we don't have that data here, so we're going to leave as it is right now. So from this point on, it's time to set the panels. We have to set the overhead panel, the pedestal, and the MCP, and every panel that we need for this flight. So it takes time to explain each system, so we'll leave that for another video if you want. Let me know in the comment section below if you would like to see that. We confirm the data that we have. We send the data here. That's it. But as I mentioned before, we don't have that feature, so I'm going to be setting flaps 5. I'm going to be setting a CG of 28.4. The aircraft gives us the speeds, but we usually have to set this speeds according with the OPT. And we're going to be using the speed, so there you go. Alright, so that covers the FMC preparation. Now it's time for us to get the flight checklist. So pre-flight check is oxygen, tested 100% and both sides. Flight instrument, heading altimeter. So heading is 271, 271, altimeter 1027, 1027, 1027 is set. And our pre-flight checklist is complete. Alright, so that covers the cockpit preparation. There's more to do here, but the video will be way too long for that. If you want to see what's next after this, let me know in the comment section below. I'll be uploading a video to show you why this is important. So if you like what you see here, consider subscribing, and let me know in the comment section below what I would like to see next. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more.